Hello everybody, you're here with Claro Beauty with your host Claudia Lara. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today is an exciting day. It's a little challenging day, and this is at your request. So you asked me to do a video on the brushes I use to apply makeup. And I decided then to today do only eyes first, and then I'll do a second video for face, which means foundation, blush, highlight, bronzing, and all of that jazz, including lips. So today we're gonna do just the eye brushes that are my favorite, that are my go-to, the ones that I reach the most for eyes, eyeshadow makeup. So if you're interested in that, please keep on watching. Before any further, if you can please subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. All right, so today, let me show you first. I have brushes in different areas of my vanity and of where I use them the most. It's just easier for me, and I'll explain how I divide or how I choose where goes where. But the main brushes, I put them in here. So I bought this because I really wanted something that covers them. You know, I get very wary about dust, or I have cats and dogs, or anything else. So I like my brushes to be covered. And it was a hard find, right? Something that will close, and it was thick enough. And then I put rice in it, so it's easy for me to put them in however I prefer. So in this one, it has 3 compartments. There's a plastic thing that divides it 3. It just, I don't know if it makes a huge difference, because the rice, you can divide it however you want, but this is just having 3 areas per se makes it a little easier in my brain. So without further ado, let's begin. The way I started my collection, really like a little more professional, probably, I don't remember when I started to buy more expensive. It's been a while now, but I did invest in a set, of course. So my first set was Sonia G. If you haven't heard about Sonia G, it's all over YouTube in a big fuzz, but I love, and everybody loves, her brushes. They are natural fibers, and so and they're sold by Beautylish, which, by the way, yesterday started a sale for Beautylish. So hopefully by the time I upload this, it's still going. So you can go there and buy them. But let me start how I sort of begun. I really started going, Walgreens, is a very, grocery store sort of place. I'm trying to see. And there's this brand, just if you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is how I began, and they work fine. There was this Real Techniques. This is for the cheeks. I don't know where my eye brushes is. I don't use them anymore. However, I think they are wonderful. They're great. So Real Techniques is a very inexpensive brand. I think it was started by 2 women who wanted good brushes without being that expensive. And so if you're just starting out and you just want, these are synthetic, but they're soft. And I think it's a wonderful brand, and you can find them in the grocery store. They usually sell sets, 3 brushes or things like that, and then mix between face and eyes and things like that. I recommend them. And you'll see what I use and what my needs are, and then you can look through. If not, I'll look for a link, and I'll put it down below of something that I would choose. So they also have in the grocery stores this brand called Echo something. I'll search it too and put the link below. Those are great brushes too. But yeah, FYI. Now going to the more expensive brushes. So I think the first, and I was very big on purchasing a traveling set. When I was working in corporate, I wanted all my makeup to fit in a small bag. I was not one of those tote purses that are huge. I always had a medium-sized purse, and so I always wanted something small. I think I travel and put all the makeup I need for my face in this backpack on the day. Is so small and everything fit here. I know, maybe I'll do a video how I did that. But so the first times that I started buying more expensive brushes were traveling sets. And one that I really recommend, and is still available, and it's actually sold at Beautylish as well. I just checked in a different case. Nevertheless, I think it's the same brushes, and I do recommend it. So this is a Charlotte Tilbury traveling set. I don't remember how many years ago I bought this. It's a small bag. And so it has sort of 4 brushes, very tiny. They're small. I mean, compared to regular size, they're small, right? However, I could travel with this 4 and do everything. I mean, this, of course, and my foundation brush. But they have this 3 eye brush set, and so really, and we'll start with the needs, right? So really you need a very good bluffer, something that you can really do in the crease, so preferable pointy. You see this pointy? So something that can go in the crease but can also sort of brush all over. So you need a good one of this sort. And then you need usually a one that helps you apply the makeup. I mean, I would suggest something more like this. So you apply the full lid. However, in these circumstances of traveling, you can do this with this or with this. This one though helps you really line up and apply more meticulous where you want the product. And then I guess you can use this also to apply it all over the lid if you use it standing vertical like this, and then the crease like that. And then you want something much more small. I mean, look at the difference between this and this, where it really allows you to go in here or line up underneath and things like that. So this set, I recommend it for that purpose when you're in the run, things like that nature, traveling. However, I don't travel, I mean, I don't take this out every day at all. When I traveled last year, I did take it with me. But again, this is more traveling, want to be very small. And if I travel today, I would still take some of my bigger brushes, which we're going to get into them. So another thing that I want to emphasize, so there's different, I guess, what is it? Not fabric, but textures to them. So there's the natural fibers and then there's synthetic fibers. And within the natural fibers, there's a realm, and between the synthetic fibers, there's also a realm of quality. So which brand you buy the brushes from makes a big difference. Now, let's start with synthetic. Synthetic brushes, which I don't use that often, but there's certain brands that they work much better with. So one set that I really recommend, and is the Natasha Denona brushes. So she sells, there's a whole cylinder with a set with face brushes and eye brushes. I really recommend that set, and she has had it for sale sometimes. They're not inexpensive like grocery store, but they are good price for the amount of brushes you get. And these are so useful. They perform very well, especially when you want to put a lot of emphasis on the eyeshadow, different colors, different shades. These are very technical. So when I'm following her tutorials, with her eyeshadows, or anything that is very precise, like applying something on top of an eyeliner, you know, a shade on top of the eyeliner, or a shade just on the top of the eyeliner, you know, that kind of precision. These are wonderful when you want to apply pack, you know, so the color goes throughout very nice. And these are wonderful. They're also very small. You know, even with what I was carrying right now, let's see. So even with what I was showing you right now, look at the size of this. And this is a traveling, right? I mean, look. You know, one is traveling and one is full size. But even the heads right there, this, I know it's a little not done. Whoops. That's when I closed the door on the thing. I missed it a little bit. But even like this is tiny. I mean, look at that. A lot smaller. I'm talking about the actual feathers. I don't know what to call it, the actual things, right? And so, look at this, is a little bigger. And so Natasha Denona is very specific, you can do wonderful things, and it applies the shade wonderful. If you haven't seen my videos, I'm not very technical and specific, and I don't want them to mix and things like that. So to me, those are not the ones that I would go to every day. I will get to the ones I mostly use. And also, I like it softer, and I like it a little more fluffy all over, think kind of makeup. So, however, I have these ones up here, up front, and I do pull them out. So I think that's what I'm going to say about that. I guess I can do another video if this gets too long of a specific favorite brushes. But right now I wanted to kind of give you an overall what I do have and what I do use. Another ones that I experimented a little bit in the synthetic arena are the Sigma. So I do have several of them. And I do pull them out just because I have them here, and the shape of them is what I'm looking for. In certain occasions, you know, I need something that looks like that, or I think it will help me. And so I do have several of them. I don't have the full collection, but I do have many of them. They're not my favorite. I don't love them. I think, I don't know if I will miss them if they weren't here, but I do pull them out. I do pull them out. For example, I need something to bluff. Look at this. This one is so perfect to just blur and go all over. And it is a little concise. So I do pull them out. This is called E38 Diffuser Crease. This is a favorite. A lot of people have recommended, and it is nice. I have here the E25. This is another favorite for applying product, the flatter sort of thing. So bluffer, so crease and application. And then a smaller kind of application. So these are favorites. This is E27 that people really like to do their eye shades. Again, I do pull them out, not necessarily my super favorites, but they are favorites for a reason. I have here also another favorite throughout. This is MAC 242. I'm not sure if this is Discontinued, but this one for more creamy foundation, you know, you can really go, look how small, things like that. So I'm just mentioning them, but these are not the ones that I mostly, there's another Sigma, you know, this dome thing, and I'll get to, so what do you need really to apply makeup? So again, not super favorite, but one of those that you do use them. I'm glad I have them. You know, like I would have Natasha Denona, more specific technical, and then I will go and grab that to kind of blur or things of that nature. So those are sort of secondary, but I do pull them out. Specifically, I can't tell you why, but they happen to be useful. Another ones that are, here's another Sigma, what is this? E33. So I'll list them down below. And then I'll do a video with the must-have or favorites. Here I'm just kind of sharing my collection and the ones that I do touch, meaning I do go for them. So another staple, I'll mention these two. These are memorable mentions. This is the Esum brushes. So there's two from Esum there's three from Esum that I think, oh, this is not Esum. All right, so there's two. This is IT Cosmetic. Ooh, another bluffer. You know, these bluffing ones, and remember at the beginning, the not expensive Real Techniques, they also have one that is very good. I don't have it here with me, but so you always need a good crease buffer, you know. I have many of those. You can never have enough because this ones help you clean, buff, you know, they're wonderful. Anywho, where was I? And it's also the one I was showing you about traveling with. So those, you can never have enough of them. But back to the Esum. So there's two brushes from Esum that I think they're must-haves. One is the Esum W36. Look at the shape, sort of side. And the other one is Esum T05. These are very technical, but very useful. This one is hard and applies the eyeline so perfectly. And then this one is sort of diagonal. So if you apply something and then you just go like this, softy. So for example, if I have a very dark shade that I just want a tiny little bit and I just want to kind of go like this and then up, I will pull this one. These ones are, I mean, they're not a must-have for every day, things like that, but they're very must-have for specific situations, and I do pull them out and I'm happy I have them. So now let's go back to the hardcore, you know, the ones that I do use every day that I think if you're starting your collection, this is where you need to start, other than a traveling kit or a non-expensive sort of Real Technique sort of thing. So I would recommend to get a set. And you know, which brand? Well, that is a good question. A set of 5 is more than enough, I think. And so where I started was the set of Sonia G. Let me see if I have here, because then I bought more of them. So I'm not sure if I'm pulling out the ones that come in the set, but you'll get the idea. So here are 5. So I think this is the set. Sonia G. I don't remember the name of it. I'll link it down below. So this one has a Builder Bro, Worker 1. Well, I'm not going to tell you all the names. I'll list it down below. But this is a good set. Why? So you have the applicator. You see this one is flatter. You see that? And I like that it's pointy. So very easy to apply all over the lid. Or if you want to apply here, or if you want to line a little bit for the outer because of the pointy and the flatness. And then you have a little thicker but rounder. So this is if you want to apply a lot more or do this, but it has a little more blurring or, you know, blurring mechanism because it has a lot more hair in it. Now, when it's a darker hair like this, it's mostly used with powdered shades. When you have white, this is on, what do you got it, on color or on, I don't know the exact technical terms, but this ones you can use with cream. And again, I really appreciate when they're pointy and they help you with the crease or even the inner corner, things of that nature. And see, this one's a little more fluffier than perhaps this ones that are a little more flatter. So this one's apply better. This one's blur a little more. And again, there is the white, which is more creamy. And then the the more browner, which is for powders. They apply a little better powders. And then of course you have this dome one. This dome one, I don't pull them up that often. They're not my favorite, but they are useful when you just want to apply a little bit here. They're very precise, very dotty. And then you can kind of line your shade with this. So they are very useful for some, I guess. I don't pull them out that much. I either prefer something more precise like this, which will make a thinner line, or I would go with the worker, which has a little pointy, is line, and I do the line better. But having said that, this is included in almost every kit, and I do have several, and I do pull them out. Now, I mentioned I think at the beginning of this video or in another video, so Sonia G came out with this set first, which is the red color. They're both available. She came out with a second set, which is the sky something, which are blue. Now, between the two sets, I prefer the blue because they're smaller brushes. And for my hooded eyes, I would recommend more this one. These ones are a little bigger. But this came out first, so I got it. And then I just got 2 or 3 of the other set individually. I ordered this one, which is the flat, the finer. This one is one of my favorites. It's very thin. I don't find many others like this in any of the other brands. This one I like because it's really good for lining. It's soft. It's not as harsh as I would say something like this, or as straight. So it really helps me apply very, very clear and concise, and it buffs as I'm applying it. And so this one is one of my favorites. So if you're starting out, I would get the set from Sonia G, the blue one, this one. And it's gonna have the applicator, the buffing, it has all that you need. So in this category, just why I ordered this specifically. Now, I've been using quite a lot of them like this. I find them very, very useful. I mean, I have many. And the reason, they're all different. This is a Natasha Denona synthetic. So this one's, what I'm showing you here is a little flat. You see this one is flat. Most of them are flat. Not this one, okay, maybe not this one for this, but this one is flat, this one is flat. And they're a little strong, they're not very fluffy, but not super hard. These ones are great for lining above a certain eye line or to put a certain color, very specific. I find that you need one of this, for sure. These are very, very useful. And of course, most sets come with one, but if not, at least get yourself one. And this is my favorite, the Sonia G Flat Definer, the blue one. Okay, so from Sonia G, and I show you the red set and some of the blue, the one that I pull out the most, so it beats this, is my Goss set. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but I don't see the eye brushes anymore available. But the Goss had an eye set. And the reason I prefer his is because they're smaller. So for that reason, I think they will compare more to the blue set. And that's one of the reasons I haven't got the blue set, because I have this ones. But because they're not available, then I suggest you go for that blue set. And these ones can be used with cream and powder, and because they're, white, they are real hairs, and they're small. They're perfect for hooded eyes. Now, he does have new brushes in Beautylish now. There's a whole set that have the face and the eyes. I am ordering through this sale 3 of them. So the last 3 little, I'm purchasing individually, but I'm purchasing the eye ones because I think they're small enough, so they're useful enough. But I can't say, I haven't owned them yet, so I can't tell you that they will be the ones like this. But I am ordering them because I think Wayne Goss, if you don't know him, he has very small eyes and hooded eyes. And so he knows our struggles. He knows what we need. He knows, I mean, he's a makeup artist, so he does all kind of eyes, but himself, he has that. And I'm sure he knows exactly what we need. Now, there is this whole fuss in the YouTube about refer sort of brushes. I do own and I do pull this 3. This is another set. Now, the whole thing about these brushes is that they're very good. They are real hair and they're very affordable. I mean, affordable within the expensive brushes. So I own them. I much prefer the Sonia G or the Wayne Goss than this ones, but this will be sort of 3rd place. And from these 3, I don't necessarily love this one because it's flat. I prefer them when they're a little pointy like this too. So these ones are 14 and 15. 14 and 15. Just smaller and bigger. So again, it's kind of like where we started, right? That they are, you know, the one that really is a must-have, which I show you from Charlotte Tilbury, the one that I think I put it away. But you know, the one that looks like this. So it looks like this and it looks like this. It's just smaller. So in that case, this one really reminds me a lot of the Wayne Goss. So this is sort of the size that I prefer. This is Wayne Goss and this is, so these 2 are Wayne Goss and this is Refer. So you see the size, this one and this one is still, if you notice, Wayne Goss is still a little bit smaller, but this is sort of in between. No, this is like this probably. So number 14 of Refer is one that is closer to the Wayne Goss, in case you're wondering. And then of course a good bluffer will be 15. This one really bluffs things out, very useful. So if you wanted to get the set of Refer, I think you will be good as well, and it's less expensive. The 13, I'm not very big because it's flat. I do pull it out. It sort of does the same trick as the other Dumbs, you know, but I do use it, believe it or not. I do pull it out when things start getting dirty and I just want a clean one. But it's not one of my favorites, but still very useful. Now, just mentioning, there is the, what's it called? Kumbaki, Sonia G. I'll list it down below, set. This is a traveling set. They're 5. They're very small. I mean, maybe compared to the regular size above, and this is a traveling set. So a lot of people do not like it. They say that this set, they're kind of a joke. They're minis. But I think they're so awesome to travel with. I mean, with this, you're supposed to have most of what you need for your face. And I'll talk about this too in the other video when we're talking face. But these 3 come in the set. And so it has what I prefer, the applicator, flat and a little line. So this could be for your eyeliner, it could be applicator. And then you have a bluff, right? The one I said you need for the crease and bluffing everything up. And then you have a tiny one. This one reminds me of the Wayne Goss size, right? The one for the crease. And so I really believe that this set could be very, very useful and very, very, very affordable for 5 brushes. And this brush, I know I said I was going to talk about it in the face. This one, it's very small, but it's perfect, and I pull it out all the time for cream blush. This is great for that. It's supposed to be the same size, the hair part, as the big brush. And so this one alone is worth it. And then of course you get all the other 4 and 3 for your eyes. Not necessarily my favorite. Again, if I travel today, I probably will get some of the larger brushes. However, if you're starting up and you really want to have everything you need, etc., and kind of deal with the situation that they're smaller than usual, then I really recommend this set. Another honoring mention will be the Westmaniti. I find that her brushes are very good. They're synthetic, but she has 2 brushes for eye shades, and especially for her eyeshadows. This is, I think, the number 2. Is it because she has number 1 and number 2, but this is the fluffier, kind of looks like this. You see kind of hairs in and out, longer, shorter. I really like this for her shades and for other things for bluffing. It does something different. So I recommend this, and I will be getting the other one once I find it in a sale. They're not in Beautylish, but if I find, maybe I'll get it in the Sephora sale that is coming up. That will be a good time to buy these ones because they're expensive, and so I do want them in a sale for sure. But this is a different one. That's why it's an honorable mention. Once you start being technical and you need it for certain things. Another honorable mention will be, and I really do pull this out for this brand, is the Chanel Dual brushes. I think you've seen me talk about this before. So Chanel has 2 of this, and obviously the other one has 2 different brushes, so 4 in total. This for traveling is also wonderful, and they work beautiful with the Chanel shades, eyeshadows. So I actually do pull it out for that reason. And having said that, I do have to mention that having the brushes of the brand that you enjoy, the makeup, usually they do go well together. So usually if I'm going to be applying Chanel, I pull this one. If I'm going to be applying Charlotte Tilbury, I do pull some of her brushes. If I'm going to be using Natasha Denona, I pull some of her brushes. But of course, for the everyday, all kind of shades, is all the ones that we've been talking about. So this one in particular is a number 200, dual-ended eyeshadow number 200. So this one is very useful because it has the applicator, the one that is flat and round that applies all of it and can guide a thin sort of something. And then of course the bluffer, the one I keep referring, that is like a super must. And it is pointy, but not that pointy, but it still works. It is a little fuller. So I do pull this often, especially for the Chanel shades. So I don't know if you must have this if you have the others, but I do pull it out for that reason. And for traveling, to keep it in your purse, I mean, with the brush cover protected, is amazing. The other brush that they have, the dual, it is more for the lining, and I think it has a spoolie. I have many, so again, I don't, maybe eventually I will get it because I think they're great quality and great to travel with. But I probably would travel with this too, because this one will help me and do all those needs of the eyeliner or the inner corner. So this too will be all I need for traveling. So again, you know, that's more or less. I mean, I can keep going on of what all the other ones that I have. They are, and one of you really recommend me and give me a list of eye brushes, which I do have in the cart. I just need to go and actually order them. And so I guess I can do another video later on once I get them and play with them, which are new brands to me. I do have certain brushes that are giving to me with the brand as a gift. For example, Pat McGrath sent this at some point with one of their sets, and they're very good brushes. I really have liked them. Again, this is the bluffer, sort of the crease, because this one is a must. No matter which brand you got, you must have one of those: the applicator, the bluffing, and the liner. And so I have suggested the Charlotte Tilbury because I think they're great. I have suggested the Chanel double-ended with the Sonia G Blue, the one I recommended. You know, those are like perfect, all you need to begin with. So, and the reason I say to begin with is because once you have a set and you start using, and then you start learning what each of them is, then it's easier to say, oh, I want something shorter, I want something fluffier, I want something that grabs a little better, you know, and now it's easier to suggest which brush to get for that specific purpose. But again, if you are not very meticulous about your makeup, then you don't need all of these brushes, in my opinion. What else? I think that I said it all. All right, wow. I think I'm gonna make another video saying my favorites, because here I think I mentioned all of them, more or less. I hope this was useful. And then I'll do another video just summarizing, like, this is the must-have or something like that, maybe. Or maybe you tell me, what did I miss? What would have been more useful to you? Maybe I'll pick and choose, you know, for each of the categories, a different brand. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. But in anyhow, please comment below and tell me what you thought, and any suggestions, any of your favorites. Which one do you love, and which ones you do have, and which ones you want to get. And with that, I'm gonna end here. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Please ring the bell, and please comment below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.